gamers, I'm your quartermaster again, and it's great to see y'all. Welcome to the second video of my Weapon Workshop series. In case you're new here, in this series I look at all the relevant statistics for all the weapons we're supplied with for this 2042 conflict. Mind you, some of the info on these weapon crates aren't exactly accurate, so that's why I'm here, to test them out for you and get you the most accurate information available. On top of gathering info, I also give you my 3 suggested builds to take into the field for dealing with all manner of combat situations. Today we'll be taking a look at our first AR available, the M5A3. The M5A3, despite its name relation to the M4A1, is actually built off the MCX Spear model by Sig Sauer. It's chambered in the 6.8 by 51mm Sig cartridge and has a base magazine of 30 rounds with one in the chamber. It has a fire rate of roughly 750 rounds per minute and is capable of mounting a variety of 40mm underbarrel grenade launchers. The base M5A3 deals 22 damage from 0 to 19 meters. After that, damage drops to 18 between 20 and 49 meters before finally dropping to 15 damage beyond 50 meters. Using this info, this weapon has a TTK value of 320 milliseconds to 480 milliseconds, and dropping just one headshot in there changes these times to 240 and 400 milliseconds. The ammo conversion kits have some unique effects on the damage this gun can put out. The CQC rounds increase our rate of fire to 800. After that, all the info on the crate here is basically inaccurate. This ammo actually has a completely different damage model from the factory ammunition. From 0 to 4 meters, this ammo does 26 damage. Only between 5 meters and 29 meters do we get the base damage of 22. All that being said, this ammo realistically gives you a 57% range increase to the 5-shot kill range. See, isn't this what y'all pay me for? I get you the real stats where the brass up and dice will lie right to you. Using the actual statistics and assuming all body shots, we end up with a TTK between 225 and 450 milliseconds. Mixing in just one headshot will change that to 150 milliseconds and 375 milliseconds. The high-powered rounds we're offered basically do what they say on the carton for once. They boost our ranges by 163%, boosting our 5-shot kill range all the way out to 50 meters. Our recoil is also higher, and the reload and rate of fire are also slower. Overall, the high-powered rounds were labeled by someone who knew what the fuck they were doing. The TTK for the HP rounds is 342 milliseconds. Mixing in a headshot will drop that to 257 milliseconds. You likely won't be getting into fights with this further than 50 meters, so that's all you really need to know for them. Now, this weapon also has armor-piercing rounds. These rounds are unique in that they can damage all vehicles, although not to the same degree that an explosive can, and can punch through more forms of cover. Overall, in exchange for this, these rounds do less damage to infantry, have fewer rounds in the magazine, and reload slower. The AP rounds cost us 4 damage up close, meaning that from 0 to 19 meters, we now do 18 damage instead of 22. We then reach our minimum damage of 15 at just 20 meters. These bullets do 1 damage per shot to LATV-4s, and a little over half a point of damage to tanks per shot, so not a ton. Against infantry, the TTK values for these are 400 milliseconds to 480 milliseconds. So right off the bat, you can see that the minimum TTK for these bullets is almost double that of the factory magazines. Mixing in a headshot will change that to 320 and 400 milliseconds. Suppressors continue to make our bullets less lethal and continue to be inaccurately labeled. Between 0 and 19 meters, using a suppressor will drop your damage to 20. This doesn't increase our TTK at all since it's still a 5-shot kill, so this may be a viable option. From 20 meters to 49 meters, damage is 17, again, not increasing our TTK at all. Lastly, beyond 50 meters, we drop to an abysmal 14 damage. Here is where we will see a TTK increase, since we now require 8 shots instead of 7 to get a kill. Our TTK at these ranges rises from 480 to 560 milliseconds. The recoil for the M5A3 is almost completely vertical with a slight drag to the right. The factory ammo is easily controllable and the CQC rounds even more so. The high-powered rounds have nearly twice the climb of the CQC rounds with less side-to-side bounce. Now let's get into these best builds for this starter assault rifle. First, we have the close-range powerhouse. We use the Fusion Hollow sight, a simple red dot sight, for a clear sight picture with a small zoom. Next, I suggest using the CQC rounds for their increased damage up close and their boosted range, fire rate, and ammo capacity. The Rattlesnake grip should be next, as this will be a very mobile class, so boosted accuracy in that area is great. We then finish with this build off with the shortened barrel for a boosted rate of fire at the cost of bullet velocity. This is definitely going to be the best build I can recommend for those of you soldiers that like to get right into the fight and keep your enemies close. The increased damage and rate of fire for the close combat bullets and the shortened barrel really melt hostiles as long as you can keep on target in the chaos of CQC. The rattlesnake grip will help you when things are in that 5 to 20 meter range to keep you on target and still dropping enemies like nothing with the 850 round per minute fire rate. You also can't go wrong with a good old fashioned reflex optic. Our second build is more for an all-around warfighter. It uses the 8R hollow sight for a 1.5 times zoom while offering a great target picture. Or, if your enemies are even further away, just use the Bravo 3X optic for a 3 times zoom. The factory extended mags are next to boost our ammo from 30 to 40 rounds, better for medium range in case you miss, or if you're fighting multiple enemies. The 40mm HE launcher may slow down your aiming speed, but the extra ordnance can make quick work of packed enemies and even do some damage to vehicles. If you want to fight more passively, the Cobra grip could be good for a stationary defensive position. We end with the factory barrel for a no-frills barrel option. As I stated before, this second combo is more for someone who prefers a good mid-range firefight and holding an objective. The factory barrel doesn't offer any benefits, but when compared to the short barrel, this build is better bullet velocity for hitting those long-range shots. The 8R hollow sight is generally the best optic to use for close to medium ranges, so it's a great choice for when you'll be fighting distant enemies and those who push you. And the Bravo 3 times is there for the even further enemies. The extended factory mags may reload slower, but those 10 extra bullets can make the difference between life and death out there. Now, while the launcher is a bit different, it certainly offers more variety when it comes to dealing with hostiles. You can do small amounts of damage to vehicles and can effectively take out entire squads with a well-placed HE round, provided you aren't fighting Espinosa though. Our final combo is a little bit more of a specialist build. We use the 8R hollow sight again for the best all-around sight available. We next pop in those armor-piercing rounds for laying down some damage to hostile vehicles. The 40mm HE launcher is used again for the anti-armor factor and crowd control capabilities. And we end with a long barrel to boost our bullet velocity and keep us a safe distance from those enemy vehicles while remaining effective. This combo certainly is not a versatile build. Those AP rounds are going to seriously harm your effectiveness against hostile infantry, but still usable. The smaller magazine will limit your killing potential against groups, but the 40mm launcher may be able to make things up there. This class is mainly for when your recoilless M5 is out of ammo and that hostile tank is just so close to going up in flames. Simply slam these rounds into your M5 and go to town. Again, you won't be shredding vehicles with these as they're still smaller caliber bullets, but they can get the job done in a pinch. The launcher will further help in dealing with weakened enemy armor. The long barrel is another good choice to keep your distance from hostile vehicles, as being close to them is not great for your health and safety. We don't want you guys going home in a box after all. Just be sure to swap back to your other magazines though before you engage in heavier infantry fighting, as these anti-armor bullets again are not good against infantry. And there you have it, folks. All the stats you need to know and the best builds to properly utilize your standard issue M5A3. Combo 1 is best for close quarters, getting right into the enemy. Combo 2 is a better defensive build for holding an objective against multiple waves of hostiles. And Build 3 is just for specifically finishing off weakening vehicles. It's a real specialized build. What do you all think of the M5A3? How's it been treating you? Just let me know down below. So with that, if I did a good job today with this briefing, be sure to leave me a like and subscription to show the Major that you want more statistical briefings like this from me. And with that, I've been your Quartermaster, and until next time, I will see you later.